It's Friday. Turn this thing out. Oh my God, I better turn it down. Boy, did I have a restless night's sleep last night. I snored like nobody's business. You know, recently it's come to my attention, talking with someone about what is a real toxic relationship. You know, when you hear the phrase toxic relationship, it makes you think like, okay, are they fighting? What's going on in this particular relationship that makes it so chaotic? You know, personally, I think it comes down to 1, 2, 3, ABC. I'm circling the A or circling the 1. You know, my dad always told me there's always an initiator. And yes, your reactions are very important when you're dealing with an initiator. Your reactions will take this thing into another world, another type of situation. Your reactions will turn that first barb or first jab into a toxic situation. God, I'm serious. When someone says something that puts you in a foul or digressed mood, my goodness, toxicity is born. Truly born. Now, if you're with someone that does that, it doesn't matter, male or female, you love that person, you will try, and if you love that person, I'm saying it twice, you will try to ferret out that kind of behavior, ferret out that kind of language that causes or may cause you to kick it into a toxic situation. So keep that in mind. If you're able to, it's practice. It takes practice to catch that initial wave of bullshit. I can't think of a really good term for it. You can catch it. And the person that's throwing it, if they're able to realize or slow down and see what they're doing, you might have a chance in that relationship. But I kid you not, if that initiator, when you guys find out who it is, does not arrest that issue, it will turn the person responding into that toxic person. Because the first person starts it, the second person really creates it into the toxic, it just goes back and forth, and it gets worse and just snowballs out of control. So just try to think about that in the very initial. Something may be going awry in your conversation with your partner, your spouse, or what have you. Try to circle that and put a pin in it and say, hey, this is not cool. This is making me want to say this. And hopefully they'll respond in a way that makes sense, meaning that they see themselves being the initiator for a toxic situation. And here's another thing. When people are in relationships and they're not having, a good time, it's not a cohesive reality, and they talk with others about their relationship, your friends and family, and sometimes acquaintances, first people to throw that at you or throw that out there, that it's toxic, they don't even think about the initiator, the A, B, C. Really close friends that know you're full of shit might immediately go there. So what did you do now? When you hear that, that's when you know people know you're full of shit, and you may be the initiator. It's just something to think about in relationships overall. There's always an A, B, C. There's always a 1, 2, 3. Try to catch it at that point. Then you don't get down into the 4, 5, 6 in the relationship. Somebody's dead, going to jail, or going to jail, somebody's dead. That's where that is down that road. Try to catch it in a 1, 2, 3. And then it may be easier for you to get it back together and get back on the same, track, on the same page with your partner, your spouse, your mate, what have you. Just remember, try to identify with that 1, 2, 3, because that's where toxicity is born. And not everybody's fucking toxic. Not everybody's, I mean, when people say shit, you got to keep in mind, they might be speaking straight from emotion, knee-jerk reaction, whatever you want to call it. If you can spot it, try to be calm, circle it, and say, hey, you're saying something that's really going to make me want to say something, and then we're down the road. Think about it like that. The old adage, it takes two to tango, two to fight. It's very, very, very true. So just try to do that and be happier together. And one more thing, and I almost forgot this. Sometimes you might realize or discover you are dealing with a truly selfish piece of shit. And you don't realize that right up front. But when you start to identify the initiator, you may find that piece of shit in that person. And they may want to double down. And I know that's a new phrase, doubling down. But they may want to stand back on their initial bullshit. And that's a whole nother part of your relationship. Keep that in mind. You got somebody that's standing on bullshit, standing on it, you got a problem. So that's just my little footnote out there this morning. That's what I was thinking about. Toxic relationships. How to head them off at the pass. Take your lasso, grab it, pull it back, arrest it. Because that is the initiator to what you may say next. I'm telling you, it's tricky, but that's the beginning of toxicity in a relationship. Friends and family, we're standing, you know. And I'm not talking about someone getting a black eye, getting beat up and shit like that. Look, if you say something to your partner gives you a black eye, that shit's not gonna work, period. That's way beyond toxicity. But if that's happening to you, I would never recommend anyone staying in that kind of relationship. But if you're not getting a beat down behind what you say, meaning the beat down is a response, you might be with somebody that can actually circle that initiator, that issue that started, and save your relationship and move forward. So, just something to think about. 1, 2, 3. There's always a 1. It's a 2 that you got to be concerned about, because that's going to create the toxicity. All right. Take that message. Take this message and enjoy your Friday. I'm starting to get a smile on my face this morning. The sun's coming up, as you can see, and it is blinding. Have a great morning wherever you are.